Hello and welcome. You are watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I am Sakshi Batra and shortly we'll be joined by Shail Bhatnagar as well. Remember, the previous trading session has actually seen the markets grappling with sharp downturn. On Friday, we did see the Nifty logging its first drop of the new year 2025 after a three-day rally. We did see a pause to that effect. 0.5% of declines and more came in on the benchmarks. About 0.7% decline for the Nifty, and the Nifty Bank led the decline with over 1% losses. Although the truncated week did end on a positive note, for the week itself, the markets were higher by about 1% or so. As we move into this new week, there are several key events that are going to be influencing the market sentiment this time. The earnings season will begin with IT majors like TCS will be coming out with their first set of results coming in on Q3. This will be a key trigger, as any signs of improvement in the Q3 numbers could also look at reversal of the ongoing trend of FII flows, outflows as well from the Indian markets. Apart from that, there are three main board issues that are lining up this week to launch their IPOs. Apart from the new IPOs openings, we will also see one listing as well in this week. And of course, on the macro level, the National Statistics Office will also release its first advance estimates of the gross domestic product, or the GDP, for FY25, and that will happen tomorrow. That's on January 7th as well. So all of this will continue to be keeping the markets hooked on to how the navigation will move through the macro as well as on the micro front as well. Now, how are the cues coming in from across the globe for today? Well, when we see on Friday in the US, we did see the tech stocks fueled a rebound on Friday on the Wall Street. So the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 ended their 5 days of a losing streak as well on Friday. The S&P 500 climbed by 1.2%. The Nasdaq also advanced by 1.7%, and the Dow Jones also added about 0.8% in trade. Now, as far as the Asia markets are concerned, mixed opening is what we've been seeing in the early trade. Well, when you see the Chinese stocks, they are up by just mildly 0.03% or so. The Nikkei is down by 1.2%. Hang Seng is up by about 0.09%. Kospi is up by 1.5%, and the Australia shares also were seen climbing by about 0.4% as well. The GIFT Nifty trends are indicating to a positive start at 24,145, about 0.25% of an uptick right there. As far as the flows are concerned, remember the foreign portfolio investors, they turned net sellers on Friday yet again and offloaded stocks worth approximately 4,227 odd crore rupees. And we've also seen that the domestic institutional investors, they've been buyers for the 13th consecutive sessions, and they bought stocks worth about 820 odd crore rupees on Friday's trading session as well. Again, on various other asset classes, we've actually seen that the gold prices slipped from a 3-week high on Friday, weighed down by a strong dollar as the markets prepared for a potential economic and trade shifts under US President-elect Donald Trump. We've also seen spot gold fall by about 0.7% at $26.37 an ounce. We also will look at how Brent crude futures have been looking at climbing 58 cents or about 0.7% to the tune of $76.5 a barrel as well. So that's as far as how the macro trends are shaping up. Key stocks that you can look at today. Remember, HDFC Bank is the first one that I'm looking at. The business updates have come in over the weekend. There was already an expectation that this time around we could see another muted quarterly update from HDFC Bank. Of course, we've seen that the loan growth has been tepid, just about 3% odd or so. But look at the deposit growth. That is where we've actually seen it outpacing the loan growth in the 3 months ending December 31st. Now, deposits have risen by about 4.2% at 24.5 lakh crores. This is better than the industry, although they have slightly slowed or moderated from about 5% growth that we saw in the July to September quarter. Now, its low-cost current and savings accounts deposits also rose by about 1%. So we'll see how the stock reacts to this one. Already on Friday, the stock had slipped by about 2.4%, declining and leading the Nifty Bank also lower in trade. So we'll see how it reacts today. ITC will be in focus. Remember, today is the record day for the demerger of the hotels business. Shareholders having ITC shares in their demat accounts as of today will be entitled to 1 share of ITC Hotel for every 10 shares of ITC parent company that they hold. Bandhan Bank will be in focus. The company said that its loans and advances have again grown by 15% year on year to about 1,33,285 crores as of December 31st, compared to 1,15,940 odd crore rupees at the end of the same quarter last fiscal. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, loans and advances have grown by about 2 odd percent. Again, the stock was down by about 2 odd percent on Friday, so we'll see how it reacts in trade today. Apart from this, ICICI Bank will also be in focus. It's got a GST demand and a penalty order of 100 odd crore rupees, so we'll see how that one also reacts. NTPC Green will be another one that will be in focus today. The company has won a 1000 megawatt Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited's order for solar PV power project auction. We'll also keep an eye out on Tata Elxsi. It's going to be now working with Qualcomm Tech to develop and to leverage virtual models of the Snapdragon digital chassis solutions for cloud native application development. Quest Corp will also be in focus. It's got an income tax refund, including the interest of 124.8 odd crore rupees for FY24. So good news coming in for that one. HG Infra Engineering has got a letter of intent from Gujarat Urja Vikas Nigam for setting up a 250 megawatt standalone battery energy system in Gujarat. And again, order inflows coming in for the company is positive. Indian Bank, again, the business updates did show that total business was up 8.3% year on year at 12.6 lakh crore rupees in Q3. They've also seen that the total deposits were up by about 7.3% on a year on year basis. The gross advances also improved by about 9.6% to 5.5 lakh rupees right there. So that's as far as some of the stocks are concerned. And we also have Shell with us. So let's quickly go across to Shell to see what is he tracking this morning. Good morning, Shell.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on this lovely Monday morning. We start a fresh week with two very important developments today. There will be a price discovery session for ITC hotels between 9 and 9:45. And then at 10 o'clock, you will see the first quote coming in for ITC hotels. Remember, this is now the demerged listing division of ITC. And this is likely to create a lot of waves. There is some understanding in the market that it should be listed somewhere like 200 rupees in that vicinity, anywhere between 175 to 205. Apart from that, ITC will open with a gap down of about 20 rupees. Remember, the demerged ratio was 1:10, and that is how it is most likely to come into play. HDFC makes a very somber start to third quarter business updates, and that is likely to impact sentiment today. If you look at the FI numbers for Friday, there were net sellers to the tune of 4,227 crores in cash, and they sold modestly in the F&O market index futures at about 1921 crores, stock futures at minus 1424 crores. So these two or three things are likely to weigh on sentiment. More importantly, a lot of other PSU banks have given updates. They are pretty good. But in HDFC Bank, you'll need to notice one thing, that credit growth is fairly muted. And this is a bank that can raise growth at the snap of a decision, but has chosen not to do so. And that is because it doesn't want to lend indiscriminately and then for it to result in potential non-performing assets. So please keep this broad thought in mind. If you look at the long-term chart of HDFC Bank over the last 1 year or so, there is a fairly decent uptick that has come in, about 7-8% over the last calendar year. And this probably was something that was known in the market. Just look at the candle that came in yesterday, which is Friday, 2.5% down 44 rupees, 1749. So we'll start with that as the background and then look at some other stocks. But otherwise, you don't have any major discomforts in the market. Let us see how the reaction to the business updates come in. There's one coming in from Titan. Both sales for jewelry as well as watches has been fairly good. Macrotech developers, Lotha developers has given a good business update. So we'll be keeping an eye on these stocks too. Sakshi.
Okay, let's welcome Vineet Bulinchkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities, now with us on the show. Warm welcome, Vineet. Good to have you with us. We're at the start of another week. Again, earnings will be in focus. Business updates from all the banks are in focus as well. And of course, ITC that we've pointed out, the record date is there for today. So a lot of investors are really keen on knowing what are the opportunities that are ahead of them on this one. Especially this is a milestone, in ITC's journey. First time they are demerging the hotels business to be a separately listed company. As Shell pointed out, the price discovery will be done. What is your own understanding of how are you approaching ITC ahead of this demerger?
So we think that ITC hotels will be a mark outperformer, just in the same fashion as Indian hotels has been. We think that they've got a very nice portfolio of hotels properties which offer attractive propositions for different sects of investors, consumers. And given that, I think one should buy into ITC so that you get the allotment for ITC hotels. And we think that ITC hotels will really do well from here on.
Okay.
Namaste Viniji, a very warm welcome to you. Just one query on ITC hotels in particular. You remember the demerger of PPL Pharma from Piramal Enterprises, and a lot of shareholders in the mutual fund space who had got into Piramal Enterprises put a lot of selling pressure on PPL Pharma. If I remember correctly, it got listed somewhere like 180, went all the way down to about 80 rupees because of sustained mutual fund selling. Do you think that ITC's parent BAT would want to retain ITC hotel shares, or do you see some kind of selling pressure maybe in the first 5, 7, 10 days of ITC hotels listing?
It's very difficult to say what BAT will do with its stake sale. But I presume that they will not come and sell in a hurry because they've been invested in ITC for a very long time, and I presume that they'll stay invested in ITC hotels, given the fact that the luxury travel segment is doing extremely well, and ITC is going to be a big beneficiary of that over the next 3 years.
Got that. We need beyond ITC also in the entire FMCG space. What is your own understanding? Dabur, Marico came out with their updates as well, and we've actually seen brokerage houses and continue to give underperform ratings on some of them. What is your understanding on the larger FMCG space right now?
So there are if you see the way uh, DMart came out with the numbers,
Yeah.
their numbers were very positive, and we have been hearing that there is a general slowdown in the economy, which is not displayed by DMart. And if you see the other players like Marico, Dabur, they have given negative commentary, and their performance continues to be negative. Even Godrej Consumers came out with a negative report. While we were speaking to other QSR chains which have been underperforming for a very long time, most of them also sought the same kind of scenario, except for the fact that Jubilant uh, Jubilant expects that things should turn around for the quarter. So the guys who have held on to prices will do well. Those who have raised prices, I think, will see some kind of pressure, and I think that is how the trend is going to play out.
Right. Vineet, what do you make out of the sentiment on Dalal Street at the moment, given the backdrop of business updates that come in hard and fast over the weekend, and of course this down dip on HDFC Bank that we saw on Friday? What's your view on the market at the moment?
See, we remain very circumspect on the market. My view is that over the next few days until Trump takes power, uh, takes over the reins of being the official president, uh, there is going to be a slam dunk happen in the US markets. So, where do I draw my cues from? Is the fact that, Trump has always betted that in his previous term that stocks will continue to do well. So he's very focused on the market not cracking too much, because if they don't take some cavalier action right now, they could be trouble ahead for them. So what I expect is that there would be very very stark decisions taken once he comes to power, and we will see a knee jerk reaction from the market, taking the markets down. But we will not see very steep corrections in the US markets, given the fact that they are expecting, uh, because as I said, that equities are very vital for the American economy, because everyone's uh, net earnings are there in equities directly, indirectly. So they would not want the equities to suffer too much of a loss. But so the negative actions that he's going to take, which are detrimental and causing initial pain, are going to be taken very early in his term. And so I tend to be circumspect of how the market will be performing.
Okay, got that.
Right. We'll pay attention to the pre-open, ladies and gentlemen. 2.8% lower on HDFC Bank. This is the key stock both for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Nifty opening 65 points lower, and HDFC Bank at 1700. The business update provided by the heaviest weighted stock in both the Nifty and the Bank Nifty is a bit muted. Let's look at what TCS is doing, down 110 rupees. You have Bajaj Finance that is providing a lot of support to the Nifty on the long side, 92 rupees higher at 7500. Kotak Bank down 44. Okay, banks are taking a massive hit. What is ICICI Bank doing? Flat, it hasn't opened as yet, 1265. But Kotak is down, HDFC Bank is down. SBI is saving the blushes for the Nifty, 2 rupees 25 higher, 795. What is ITC doing? Now this is the adjustment that we need to pay attention to. 2.4% lower at 470. Remember, the ITC Hotel scrip will have the price discovery between 915 and 945, and that is a thing that is being watched by the market as well. Tata Motors reclaiming 800. This is something interesting. 14 rupees 50 higher at almost 805. The Nifty down 56 points. Let's look at what's happening in the broader market. Okay. AU Small Finance Bank is up 10%, 631. Emphasis is up 9.5%, 3141. There's no stopping ITI Limited, 494, 7.5% higher. These prices will have to readjust. They're just too high. And of course, you have a lot of pharma companies doing very well. Gland Pharma up 3.5%, Eris Life Sciences up 4.8%, Kaplan Point 1.67% higher. This is how the markets have opened. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Well, Shell, we'll also keep an eye out on a whole host of other stocks. Like I'm going to be keeping an eye out on Jubilant Food as well. It's come out with its own provisional sales, which are up by about 19%. At 1600 crores. They've also added net 130 stores in October to December period as well. The consolidated revenue provisionally is seen as 56% higher, and therefore the stock is also indicating a 2% up move on Jubilant Food. Vineet, let's understand from you the QSR space. How are you looking at this space? Of course, you can also add Zomato, Swiggy to the same basket and tell us how are the food and the food delivery spaces looking to you in the new year now?
So if you take QSR plus Zomato and Swiggy, I think Swiggy is my top pick, followed by Jubilant and specialty restaurants.
Okay.
The other stocks continue to remain under pressure. Their commentary is negative. So, but I expect that somewhere in this quarter, there could be a turnaround in the sentiment for the QSR as an entire chain. And hence, we remain buyers on dips of the rest of the stocks as we spoke about.
Okay. 903, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty is slowly but surely inching towards a green tick. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is despite HDFC Bank. So please notice the underlying strength of the market. We may talk about pain expected in the third quarter, so on and so forth, but firmly and securely, it's 24,000 for the bulls, and let us see how it goes from here on. Let's just take a detour into the PSU space. It's thick with activity over the last 1 week or so. Bank of India 1.7% higher in pre-open. UCO is 1.4% higher. There are signs of moves coming back on Bama Lorry, 1.1% higher, 225.65. HUDCO, NTPC, IDBI, RVNL, Bank Baroda, PNB, all up between 0.5% to about 0.75% in early trade. How about defense? Let's just take a look into defense. Okay, Hindustan Aeronautics 0.33% higher. Midhani 0.5% higher. BDLG RSE in the green. Nothing much to talk about. Masgaon flat. So this is how markets have opened. Within the business updates that have come in, Vineet, anything that catches your fancy on the long side? How about Titan? How about Bajaj Finance?
Definitely, Bajaj Finance really sticks out. I think that it's high time that the stock starts moving up again. It's been it's been in comatose for almost many years now, and a breakout from these levels can be very, very positive for the stock going ahead.
Okay, got that. Vineet, another space that I wanted your view on also is, SBI cards. Nomura has come out with an upgrade here with a buy rating now, and the target price that they've risen to 825. They're seeing the company has seen a rise in the net card addition in November of 2024, the highest since December from 2023 onwards. And they now are seeing SBI cards as one of the biggest beneficiaries of a potential rate cut that could come in FY26 as well. Of course, in the last 1 year, we've not seen the stock move at all. 6% of a decline is what we've seen. Are things going to go better for this one now?
I think you know what, the stock has been comatose, as I said, like Bajaj Finance.
Yeah, yeah.
And with Bajaj Finance also moving up, and SBI cards, they're into the similar businesses, attracting a similar kind of clientele. I think they should both rally in sentiment. So we could see an update today in SBI cards.
Okay.
The Nifty is now 30 points higher as far as the pre-open is concerned. Let's see what's helping it up. Even HDFC Bank is not so badly off, Sakshi, just down 0.5% now. And out of the 10 index heavyweights that we track regularly, there is ITC, which is down 5.5% because of an event, and that's getting readjusted now, exactly 27 rupees lower. This will readjust for the better. The only stock that is in the red is Kotak Bank. Of course, HDFC Bank too, but just down 0.5%. So that's a positive. And let's look at the internet space. Zomato, 0.6% higher. There is a lot of activity happening on LNT, 0.6% higher. Let's look at the Nifty as a total and find out which is the least performing stock in trade today. It's Cipla out of the top 10, 0.7% lower. Okay, not an issue. Let's get Vineet into the conversation in the pharma space. No let up in rallies in mid-cap pharma, and of course it's the top pharma stocks that led this wonderful uptick over the last 3 months or so. What do you make out of the pharma space as of now, Vineet, and the fact that on Jan 20th, you will have a new US president who's hell-bent on protecting domestic industry? How do you think that will impact our local pharma producers, where about 50 to 60% of their revenues comes from the US market?
So, the possibility of them levying duties on pharma products seems a little difficult. given the fact that bulk of their generic drugs are outsourced from India, and if they deploy these kind of uh, tariffs, then they're going to cause severe concern to patients. So I think pharma would be a negotiable area between the Trump administration and India. And even if pharma rates tariffs were to go up, I think the rates would also go up. So to that extent, I believe that pharma is little well protected. Where the negative can be come from pharma is if there is a sudden deluge of concerns on the quality of products being produced.
Okay. Let's also welcome another guest on board. Vaishali Parekh now joins in, Vice President Technical Research and Analysis at Prabhudas Leeladhar. Warm welcome to you, Vaishali, and good to have you with us at the start of another week. Tell us, what are you going to be looking at for today? Any key sector, key stocks that are on top of your radar?
Very good morning, all of you, and thanks again. So I would say market still continues to be in a sideways move, and we have to wait and watch. As far as the index is concerned, it's not showing any clear direction. A move below 23,800 brings in further corrective move, and about 24,300 would give us a further target of 24,800. But I think at this juncture, when market is so unclear, there are few sectors which are showing signs of bottoming out. Like last week, we had spoken about auto sector, FMCG. So I think FMCG, few of the stocks are showing, maybe we may not see a runaway rally from here, of course, but level wise, I would say HUL, Tata Consumer, they all look good at this level. And for today, I think energy index and metal index can be looked into, because these are the two indices sectors which have not participated so far. So if market had to see some more upward move, and all these sectors have to participate.
Good morning to you, Vaishali. Happy New Year and a very warm welcome on market today. How are you looking at the charts of Bajaj Finance, and what are they telling you? This is a stock which is actually coming out of hibernation. Anything that has changed dramatically on the medium term charts of Bajaj Finance?
Very good morning and Happy New Year to you too. I think Bajaj Finance has started doing very well. It did come out above a cluster of moving averages right from 7,000 levels. So I would say to those who have taken this opportunity to buy dip should continue holding, because I think it is ready for a target of 7,800 to 8,000 levels. And to those who have not bought, I think 7,200, if there is a little bit of a retracement coming in, 72, 73 is a good level to again get into the trade. And I think target should be 78 to 8,000.
Okay. All right. Let's get Vineet back into the conversation again. Vineet, the IT space, how are you going to be looking at it right ahead of the earnings then? And do you think any kind of improvement there could be a trigger for the FII flows to come back to India? Are you seeing any signs? Is there an expectation that Q3 will be better off for some of the large caps like TCS Infosys?
So, I believe that IT stocks, as we have seen Accenture come out with encouraging numbers, should also post decent numbers. But what have you noticed that they have rallied very, very sharply since the last result update? So I think this possibly could be a sell-on news kind of event, unless and until the stocks come out with some very, very striking numbers which compel further buying interest to emerge.
9:13. Vaishali, DMart, a fairly decent business update that came in on Thursday, and the stock shot up circuit on the F&O space, first 10 and then 15. Has the medium term chart changed for the better in DMart as well?
I would say so, because the near-term resistance was at around 3,800, and we saw a good gap up opening and sustaining well above. So now I would say 3,800 would act as a good support level, and if the momentum continues, in all likelihood, this can go towards 4,300 to 4,500 to start with.
Okay. Got that. Consumer durables seem to be showing us some positive ticks again in trade today. Right before the opening starts, you can actually see a 0.6% of an uptake. And many of these stocks like Blue Star, Crompton, Kalyan Jewelers, Kajaria Ceramics, Dixon, Voltas, Havells, Whirlpool, Amber Enterprises, they're all up and about right now. Let's get Vineet to understand how is he looking into the consumer durables picture. You did talk about the FMCG space, Vineet, but when we extend this to consumer durables, how are you really looking at it? For me also, what I've been understanding so far is that these companies used to be in full flavor in the peak of summers when the purchases for ACs used to be top notch across the country. But what is happening with extreme winters also coming in, and of course the pollution coming in, there are several other newer products that are getting off the shelf pretty fast. Talk about air purifiers, talk about heaters as well. They are also getting off the shelf pretty fast now. So they have a seasonality factor which is more and more reducing for some such companies. How are you really looking at the consumer durables? Vineet? Okay, I guess Vineet is unable to hear us. Meanwhile, markets have opened, so we'll start looking at the markets. 24,030 right now for the Nifty. That's a 28 point of an uptick. And let's look at what is contributing. Let us look at the heavyweight counters. Let's look at banks for instance, Bajaj Finance. Let's look at that one. That's opening about 2.3% higher. Let's look at HDFC Bank. How is that one reacting to its business updates that really came in as well? HDFC Bank is also indicating of a muted start as of now. Let's look at that one as well. Reliance Industries is opening in the positive zone. Right now you have again Britannia, IndusInd Bank also moving higher in trade. You have Tata Motors that's pulling up in trade as well. From the IT pack, it's Infosys, Tech Mahindra. Both are opening about 0.7, 0.8% higher in trade right there. From the auto pack, it's again M&M that's pulling up about 1% higher. You also have Titan after that strong business update. That's also moving up about 1.3% higher in trade. Let's quickly get Vaishali to talk about the opening right there on the Nifty, Vaishali, and on the heavyweight counters pulling up.
So I'm focusing right now on Mahindra and Mahindra.
Okay.
Well, it's at a breakout level, so we need for this stock to sustain about 3220, and that's where we are. So I think this can go towards 3450 to 3500 levels. So this is one of the stocks to my liking right now.
9:16, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at what ITC is doing. It's readjusted 4.7% lower. This is the demerger impact of ITC hotels, where the price discovery will shortly begin, and that will list around 200 rupees or something. Remember, it was a 1:10 demerger, so a 20 rupee downtick on ITC or thereabouts is more or less expected. Let's look at the most active counters. Hectic activity on ITI. This is a very low float stock, and that's the reason why you see such a very sharp move coming in. HDFC Bank is in positive, and that's such a big relief for the market. The Nifty up 40 points. Bank Nifty slips a bit, 83 points lower. It's a tearing run on Nifty IT. 310 points higher. Infosys is the main contributor, up 1% at 1957. Apart from that, you have SBI card, which Sakshi pointed out, a Nomura update coming in, price target upwards of 830, 4% higher. Ease My Trip, 8% higher, 1671. Titan is buzzing after its business update, 1.65% higher. And this is how it goes as far as trade is concerned. Zomato a bit in the red, 272.50. Anything that catches your interest, Vaishali, in the early part of trade?
So I think it's IT sector which is coming in limelight. So I would look at Infosys right now. That's the one, and even TCS. TCS is also getting into momentum, technically well placed. So I would focus on these stocks.
Okay, got that. Let's look at Titan, that's surging higher, 1.7% higher, 3,509 right now. That's the top mover. Bajaj Twins again pulling up in trade. Strong moves right there. Auto Space, Bajaj Auto, M&M, Hero Moto, all of them are also pulling up in trade sharply up and about. Consumer durables, IT, Realty, Auto, Pharma, and the mid caps. These are the pockets that are in the green. Rest of them have slipped. PSU banks lower, 1.2% lower. Oil and gas, 0.5% lower. You have metals that are losing some sheen, 0.5% lower. Private banks are down in trade, and so are the financial services. But Bajaj Finance is, kind of bucking the trend right now. In the F&O space, you have Angel One that's pulling up. Crompton Greaves Consumer, SBI Cards, that's also pulling up in trade. Smartly up and about. Poonawalla FinCorp is another one, and Jubilant Food. You also have Nykaa that's pulling up in the F&O space. Let's get back to Vaishali. Vaishali, F&O space, what's looking positive?
So I'm also looking at RBL Bank because
Acha.
that is showing signs of higher bottom, and 160 should act as a near-term support, and I think this can go towards 180.
A couple of stocks that need to be marked in the cash space. The supplier to Titan is a company called RBZ Jewelers. This is an Ahmedabad-based jeweler, which is up 5% at 228. This is a record high. The IPO came at about 100 rupees. In the space of top gainers, we have Mukta Arts, 8% higher. Let's ignore it. These are the names which are, sort of, okay, V2 Retail is up 5%. Remember, it's the D-Mart rub-off happening. 18.15 for you. This is limit circuit up. What else is moving? Cafe Coffee Day. I had marked about 2 days ago the global jump in coffee prices and the fact that Indian coffee exports have now crossed $1 billion for the first time. So this is something that's doing pretty well. And of course, you have record highs coming into, I mentioned RBZ, Blue Star. This is a counter that needs to be watched. A fabulous quality in terms of parentage, and over the last 1 month or so, it's been one of the standard outperformers in the market. Vaishali, the charts of Blue Star, this is the 10th day of gains. Is it overstretched? What is it telling you?
So, well, it is definitely coming in the overbought zone, but I would not say that it's showing any exhaustion. Continue holding with the trailing stop loss. Right now, what we are seeing is a doji formation, so I think one should definitely keep a stop loss and ride through.
Okay. Let's see if Vineet is with us. Vineet, yes, you're back with us. Tell us, how are you really looking at Titan? And does it really look promising even now? Strong business updates coming in.
Breakout.
Yeah, I think Titan will continue to do well. It's the bellwether of the jewelry segment, and as all jewelry stocks are doing well, I think Titan should also do well.
Okay.
Vineet, I would just take your outlook on MobiKwik. This is something that's been one of those standout listings over the last 15 days, a price of 280, a listing of about 400 or so, and then it peaked around 680. Do you track this company? How would you comment on the price action?
I don't track this company, so very difficult for me to offer any comments on this.
Okay.
Okay, fair point. Let's look at some other action that's happening in the market. Jubilant Foods, 3% higher, fresh record high, 781. There is a buzz on the wealth management space. Angel One, 3.7% higher, 2962. Nykaa in top shape, 2.5% higher at 172. SBI Cards is buzzing. Let's get Vaishali on SBI Cards. This is event driven as well, plus maybe some bottom fishing. Almost at multi-month lows, 753, and now a tap from Nomura for a higher target. Vaishali, SBI Cards?
Signs of improvement and reversal. So now I would say 720 should act as a good support. Today we are seeing a gap up opening also. So I think one can get into this trade for as a positional trade with 7 support, and this can go towards 800 levels. So the chartically it is definitely improving, and I think it's a positive move.
Okay, got that. So that's the view. Vaishali, I want to draw your attention to one stock in the broader markets that Shell also has been tracking very, very closely, and that's ITI, another 11% higher in trade today. And this stock in the last 5 days has actually moved about 25% higher. In the last 1 month, it's surged about 60%. That's the kind of move that we have actually seen on this PSU company. Investors must be again getting into that FOMO, and now could be at a risk of entering at a higher level after that 60% surge has come in at that in that last 1 month. How would you really look at this one? Do you think there is enough and more steam even left now?
I think so, because the way the candles are forming, it's like, three white soldiers. I don't know why, I forgot the terminology, but it's showing a lot of strength. I think it will still go higher. So one can do this with a stop loss. 460 comes as a stop loss, so that's quite low. So I would say wait for a little bit of a dip to get into the stock.
Let's get Vineet into the conversation on this really baffling stock. Sakshi, you're absolutely right. You know, it's baffling. Vineet, telecom is something that you've tracked on the equipment side. What is happening on ITI?
Uh, Apart from a technical breakout in the stock, they have got a lot of land in very, very primary areas. And, they have the data center abilities. So, I had tracked this stock when they were planning to do an OFS and it was called off. So during their presentation that time, I remember they had mentioned about, putting up cold shell structures where, MNCs and corporates could come in and set up their own data centers out there. So I think something on that side could possibly be emerging, and that is why we are seeing the run up in this stock.
Well, 9:26, ladies and gentlemen, it's clicking and clicking away merrily. 73 points higher on the Nifty. So 24,000 is something which the bulls are back with a bang. A 440 point uptick on the Nifty IT index. That's good. And what's better is that HDFC Bank is up 5 rupees 15. So the market is believing 2 points. One, its ability to raise deposits at a relatively lower cost than rest of the banking space has been very well established in the third quarter update, and the fact that it has a will to increase credit growth whenever it wants has also been acknowledged. So this is how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Apart from HDFC Bank, you have TCS clicking away 38 points higher, 41.38. You have a strong move coming into Infosys. Vaishali's already marked a positive click on this, 1.4% higher. Let's look at all-time highs, the same ones. Naukri, 9,023. ITI, we've discussed this, beats me any day. Kim's, 1.9% higher, 640. Apar Industries, Coromandel International. This is the list of new highs so far. In terms of volume breakouts, you have SBI cards. We've discussed in Saregama. Now, this is interesting. 5% higher. Vaishali, to you, a very, very strong music franchise, 578. What are the charts of Saregama telling you? What music is it playing?
Yes, it's very, very beautiful to the ears. Yeah. 550 is the support. It's given a breakout out of that level, and volume has been on rise since exceptionally high, especially on Friday. So I would say one should keep 550 as support and look for a target of 620 to 630.
Okay, got that. Let's get Vineet again into the conversation to help us understand what else to expect in some of the other pockets. Then, Vineet, auto space for you. After the recent sales figures have come in, Some of them have been promising again of a revival and signs improving for the consumer sentiment. What would you really put your bets on within the auto segment now?
So auto segment, one of the stocks which has really outperformed the market is you know your Royal Enfield.
Yeah.
I think that company is going to do very well. Second is Hero Honda. Has been battered a lot, so I think that is another stock which I expect to do well. Uh, so my focus is primarily on the two wheelers because they've seen a very soft patch recently, and if as I predict that the consumption theme will play out in Q4 onwards, then I think the pack which is going to see the best run is going to be two wheelers, because four wheelers and CVs have already seen a large peak in the cycle happen, and over the next few months we expect them to be more of underperformers.
Okay, no issue at all. 9:29, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it's time to bid goodbye to Vineet. Thank you so much, Mr. Bolinshkar, for joining us in the second week of a brand new 2025. We look forward to speaking to you regularly, and here's wishing you a great year ahead. Thank you. Let's now focus on the big daddy of them all, ladies and gentlemen, Reliance. When was the last time you saw such a nice tick on Reliance? About 11 rupees higher, 1261. And it's constantly coming on my screen in terms of now volume getting built up. So Reliance is there right up for you in the top traded list. And we have about 1261 on the price, 9.85 rupees higher. Let's look at the contributory list on the Nifty, although it's just up 58. Okay, Infosys is contributing 27 points. Bajaj Finance, remember we talked about this pre-open, is contributing 11. TCS 10, Reliance almost 10, and M&M. So M&M has already been marked by Vaishali. This is again headed towards a record high. Reliance available below 200-day DMA. TCS and Infosys now contributing much higher to IT index, which is up 1.28%. Let's look what beyond IT, what beyond these two is contributing to this lovely rally on the IT index. Okay, L&T Mindtree 2.3% higher. Emphasis 1.7% higher. HCL Tech Mahindra up more than a percent each. Persistent 0.8% higher. So it's a nice breezy day on the Lal Street, welcoming Monday, which is really good. Sakshi, the cold in Delhi hasn't impacted sentiment on the Lal Street, and we all are happier off. How was your drive to office today? Was it completely fogged out?
No, in fact, it was pretty clear, and I think there are signs of some light showers happening, so that is probably clearing out some of the vision. Now, over the last 2 or 3 days, it was, fogged out completely, Shell, from morning till night, and especially yesterday, it was really chilly winds as well coming in. But probably today, I think there will be some light showers that will clear out some of the fog right there. So let's hope for that to come in true.
Yes. Vaishali, what is the maximum cold that you've sort of gone through in Mumbai? I believe the ACs are still on.
It is not. We don't experience winter at all, so that's the sad part.
Hey, you're welcome here.
Yes, I'm looking forward to.
It's bone-chillingly cold today. It's bone-chillingly cold today. For the last 2 or 3 days, I'm burning that coal to just keep the damp out of the home, and just really cold yesterday. And in fact, Sakshi was right. We were driving on the expressway. You could barely make out the car ahead of you. So that's it. Maybe that's the reason why Blue Star is up. Maybe they make warm room heaters as well. But then that's a bit of a joke. Okay. What's moving and what's moving apace? Saregama, now up 7%. What's the volume on Saregama? Okay, 150 crores of Saregama has already been traded as far as markets are concerned in the first 15-17 minutes of trade, and it's looking good as far as this particular stock is concerned. I just want to see what is the circuit on Saregama. Is it 20? Because you might just see flat markets on the index level, but there are some stocks that are doing very well. Okay, on Friday it had gone up by 15%, and so far it's up 6.6%. So this is fairly good momentum. Now old favorites are coming back. Look at KPIT Technologies, look at Birlasoft from the tech space. These are the two high beta counters that often move in sync with each other. How about volumes? No stopping ITI. Already 1200 crores have been done in the first 17 minutes of trade, and the counter is up 12.5%. Jubilant Food, record high again, 2.8% higher, 780.25. What else are you watching, Vaishali?
Well, right now, market is coming back in the red as far as banks are concerned. So, well, Bank Nifty is showing weakness. And another stock, well, again, one Paytm. Paytm is showing a good bounce. So, that is one stock which one can look at.
Okay.
980 as support. It's yeah, holding on to the moving average also, and once again attempting a bounce. So I think 980, 970 should act as a support for a target of 1020.
Okay, got that. IT is further pulling up. You have over a percent gains coming in on the IT pack. Now, Infosys is the top mover, 1.5% higher. HCL Tech, Tech Mahindra. You have Wipro that's also buzzing in trade today, and several others that are also following suit. From the IT pack, Vaishali, what are you going to be looking at?
So I do like LTI Mindtree. I think I had mentioned
Okay.
earlier also because the stock had really corrected well and taken a support at 200-day moving average. So as a positional trade also, I would be looking at this stock with 56 as support, and 61, 62 should act as a near-term resistance. So this is one stock which I'm quite comfortable with at this level.
Okay. Okay. Got that. So that's as far as LTI Mindtree is concerned. Let's also look at some of the other pockets that are buzzing now. You know, a large part of the market in terms of sectors have slipped lower. Look at PSU banks. There's almost a 2.7% decline on this one. Metals are cracking, 1.3% lower for this. Almost a percent loss for oil and gas. Commodity space under pressure. You have FMCG that's down by 0.7% as well. Realty, Pharma have all slipped. Both of the broader market indices, mid and small cap 100 indices, have slipped into the red. The Nifty Next 50 is down by over 1.2% as well. PSE index, the public sector units, are also now down. You have 23,988 on the Nifty, so the Nifty is slipped in lower, and you have most of the pockets, barring IT and consumer durables, that have now slipped into the red. PSU banks, what is pulling down this entire space, Vaishali? What would you do here?
Well, I'll wait it out because right now, even the advanced decline ratio is negative. So I'm not participating right now. I'll wait for some market stability or at least watch for Nifty at 23,800 levels. If we are seeing a bounce, then perhaps an intraday buy, but otherwise, I'll give it a miss.
9:37, ladies and gentlemen. While we discuss a lot of stuff, it's good music coming from Dalal Street. No stopping Saregama, now 7.8% higher. Vaishali is already given a buy reco on this. What else is buzzing? Paytm, she's marked. In terms of top volume busters, let us see if there's anything interesting we can mark out. The broader markets are slipping in trade. On the small cap index, Crompton is 2.5% higher at 375, and this has already shown 100% of its volume already traded. We have Angel One 2.5% higher. The charts are very, very interesting on Angel One. Vaishali, your clue on Angel One already 50%, almost 50%, 46% of 5-day average is traded, and we are 2.5% higher at 29.24. What are the charts telling you?
So for now, I would say this stock is in consolidation. 2850, 2820 should act as a support. So unless and until we see a move coming above 3050, I would say it's a sideways move. Uh, Once it sees 3050 and sustaining above, then I think it gets into a trend to look for a target of 3250 or so.
Okay. Got that. Let me pick your brains on Nika, particularly Vaishali, to help us understand how are you really looking at this one. Is this bounce going to be sustainable? At least for traders, is it a good stock to look at right now, 172.6?
I think so because if you see currently also just short term, it's giving a trend line breakout. So I would say one can consider this stock. Furthermore, it needs to sustain above. I mean, near term target resistance comes at around 180 levels. So above 180, look for the target. It can go towards 200 also.
Got it.
940, and it's Paytm and Paytm all the way as far as the internet space is concerned. Let's look at the top performers again. Is there any name that I'd like to mark apart from Saregama? Kudremukh Or, 6.7% higher, 425. Again, a very volatile stock. India VIX is up 7%, 14.48. There is a strong view coming in on. So, okay, maybe there is some correlation between Mukta Arts and Saregama moving together. Both of them are from the media space. My apologies, from the Bollywood space. What else is in top shape? RBL, RBZ I have marked. Hubtown, 5% circuit at 289.5. Sunflag, 5% circuit at 305. Sunflag Iron actually holds 11% stake in Lloyd's Metal. I forgot to ask about Lloyd's Metal from our friend Vineet. He suggested this stock somewhere like 650. It's already 1440. So Sunflag is having a good time because of its 11% holding in Lloyd's Metal, where the market capitalization is now above 75,000 crore rupees. So that's the correlation. What else should I be marking on here? We'll keep these names off radar. Now let's look at all-time highs. Okay, usual suspects are there. Let me mark any new ones. No, I won't be taking these names on air, but we have V2 Retail, 5% higher. It's the DMart rub-off that's happening. You have KIMS, which is Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, 1.2% higher, 635.5. Blue Star we've discussed. EPAC, 638, 2% higher. And of course, there's no stopping ITI, now 14.8% higher. Sakshi, what are you watching?
Several stocks within the broader markets that are catching my attention. Apart from Lloyd's Metals, there's another one that Vineet had highlighted, which we forgot to ask him, and that's Innova Captab. That's also up by about 5.5% odd within the broader market space. So that's buzzing. You also have several others like a Mega Soft that's buzzing. Bartronics is buzzing in trade. Then you also have stocks like Easy Trip Planners that's on the positive side in the broader markets particularly. What else is buzzing is V2 Retail, another 5% higher. Let's discuss this one. Vaishali, we had been looking at the retail space pretty much over the last week with the newer listing coming in and strong moves on, say, Vishal Megamart, V2 Retail, Avenue that Shell also marked that, there were positive updates that were coming in. So the entire space got back into action. Where would you keep your attention within the retail pack right now?
So I would say, yeah, DMart is one of the stocks that we are looking at, and I think not to miss out on trend. Of course, with the
Yeah.
strict stop loss, but this stock is also showing it's consolidating. But as long as 7,000 levels are held on, I think this is a stock to look at. Not now, but let's wait for it to stabilize at 7,000 and we can have a look at those.
Fair point. You gladden Sakshi's heart when you talk about Trent. Let us see how it progresses. Purely in the form of tracking the stock. Nothing else apart from that. Let's look at the record high on Trent. It's come back with a vengeance over the last 2 or 3 sessions. Okay, record high is somewhere like 8,700, 8,300 actually, which we saw on 14th of October. Still a long way to go. There is a company called Sirma SGS, again in the space of the electronic manufacturing services. It's just a blowout that's happening. 643, 2.4% higher, now 2.8% higher. What are the daily charts telling us? Vaishali, at your end, will you please look at Sirma? This again is a
So
record high. Moving
it's
fairly
getting into
sharply
new
at
round of
645.
yeah, it's getting into new round of momentum. With today's low also as stop loss, one can get into the stock and perhaps go for a target of 660.
Okay. Got that. Let's look at some of the other pockets then. What else can we take? Okay, Devyani International is also buzzing. So we were talking about Jubilant Foods, and from the QSR space now even Devyani is up and about 4.3 odd percent higher in trade. Warren Beverages has slowly and gradually been on the move consistently for the last one and a half months as well. This is again the sister company. Your sense on the entire QSR space right now, Vaishali? Does Jubilant Foods outstand everyone, or do you think there are others that are catching up soon?
So for me, on the radar right now, it is only Jubilant Food and perhaps even Zomato.
Okay,
Zomato also is continuing, but no fresh buys at this level. Zomato can be looked at these levels.
fair point. Okay.
I would like to order a piping hot cup of coffee from Zomato. And it's so cold here, it's unbelievable. But let's look at the other action in the market. Okay, Lloyd's Metal is doing very well in terms of volume. Ola Electric is also coming up. Sagility is back in action, 53.71 and up a third of a percent. Nice strong show on volume. You
Have a
have
look at FSL.
what else can I mark which will attract viewers' attention? Which one?
First source solution, FSL.
Okay, go for it.
So I think this also is showing strength once again. 385 is support, and look for a target of 425, 430.
Up for the 10th day in a row, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure this is a new high. Let me just flip the stock on a monthly chart. Yeah. By any measure, this is a record high. It broke out from 241 somewhere on 15th of July. So, ladies and gentlemen, First Source Solutions, PCBL, Philips Carbon Black, Spencer Retail, and CESE are, and of course Saregama, of course, all of them are from one business group. So please keep an eye out of this business entity out of West Bengal. What else is doing well? Okay, hotel. My God, hospital stock. Narayan Hirdale. Although there is no difference between a hospital and a hotel these days, but a very strong move coming in here. 1343. This will hit a record high. Vaishali, this fresh start on Narayan Hirdale. What do you think?
I think a robust candle volume is decent, so I think one can look at this, and it's ready for a breakout. Above 1350, it's ready for a breakout. So I guess yes, it's a good positive move.
Okay. Got that. Yeah.
Relatively, for a very relatively inexpensive hospital stock, there is Indraprasth Medical. This is something that I've been tracking for a while. This is again a Delhi-based hospital chain. We better know it as Apollo Indraprasth at Sarita Vihar. Please keep an eye out on this one. The valuation metrics compared with Narayan Hridayalaya, Medanta, Fortis, Apollo Hospitals, the parent, are fairly decent. And again, this is meandering around a record high. This is something that can also be looked into, but please speak to an independent financial advisor before you step into it. So keep an eye out on this one. DAM Capital, newly listed last week, 1.6% higher, 410. A stock that both Sakshi and I rue not following with great detail. NetWeb Technologies, 3.5% higher. This is a Faridabad-based company. They came with an IPO of I think 450 rupees, listed at 850, and then it's just a single side move that has come in. K Fintech buzzing, 1478, 0.5% higher. Nuvuco, 1.5% higher, 358. This is what I am watching. How about you, Sakshi?
Yes, let's again look at the Bajaj twins. Those are the ones that are catching my attention again. 2% higher for Bajaj Finance, and Bajaj Finserv also inching about 1% higher now. Between the two, where would you place your fresh bets, Vaishali? Bajaj Finserv or Bajaj Finance?
I guess Bajaj Finance has already got into a trend, and Bajaj Finserv has yet to buck up.
Okay.
So I would say yes, Bajaj Finserv has got a better scope of, but I would wait for a clarity because it needs to move past the hurdle of 1750. So once that happens, I think we would get a clarity for this stock to sustain at these levels and go higher. So I'll wait for it to move above 1750. But I would wait. Bajaj Finance is a more convincing stock.
True.
Okay. Let's look at some of the other pockets. And within the metals pack, I just wanted to draw your attention, Vaishali, to the ferrous space. That seems to be still holding up. Stocks like Sunflag Iron, Indian Metals for that instance, maybe a Shivalik Metals as well. We've not been tracking this space very closely, but all of this space is perhaps buzzing. Anything that you'd like to suggest here within the ferrous space of the metals? What's looking good?
So, talking about Sunflag, it's already surged so high. But in fact, on Friday, I had also spotted Sham Metallic. I don't know whether it falls in that category, but the name implies that yes, it does. So I think Sham Metallic is one of the stocks. In fact, I would also look at Frontline. I would be more comfortable with the Frontline ones like Jindal Steel and Power. Those are also technically quite well placed, and Metal Index also has seen a good beating. So I would now, not in a hurry, but wait to look at Hindalco and Nalco also, because Nalco also has given a good corrective move. I think downside that we look at is 195. It's already at 200 levels. So pretty close to support. Even Hindalco 585, not a bad deal to get into these stocks.
Fair point. 952. There is a bit of a pause in the market, unless you're looking at ITI now, 15.3% higher. It's one of those stocks that defies logic and defies conventional wisdom. But भाव भगवान है और हमारे सामने है, तो उसको नमस्कार करना अति आवश्यक है, और वो हम लोग कर ही रहे हैं. How about volume busters? After many months, you have Bajaj Finance as the second most active counter, almost 566 crores traded, and this is heartening for all sorts of people who are long-term investors in Bajaj Finance, and of course it was a great trading stock. So now back in action, 75.10. We've discussed this many times. Tata Motors 0.5% lower, 787. Vaishali and I have an off-the-record conversation on Tata Motors many times. Nothing much coming out of it. Profit booking in Union Bank 6% lower, 116.45. But Bank of Baroda 4% lower, 231.7. That's the reason why you see Bank Nifty and now Nifty slipping in the red. MobiKwik is 1.5% lower. SBI Cards buzzing 2.3% higher. Kotak, DMart, Britannia, Hindalco, SBI all down between 1 and 2.3%. Sakshi.
Okay, right. 9:54. About 6 minutes to go before we wind up this edition right now. Let's ask Vaishali if she spotted anything interesting for us to track for the day. Vaishali, in terms of key stocks, anything that one should keep an eye out on for the entire day?
So right now I'm looking at KFin Tech.
Okay.
That's showing some momentum. So I think this stock can do well. 1400 should act as a support, and it's showing some good strength right now. So I would focus on this stock.
Key fintech right now about 1% higher. It's moving to the high point of the day. We'll definitely keep an eye out on this one right there. Again, in the broader market space, what else is buzzing? Easy Trip is perhaps improving from the last week carnage. You're also looking at KIOCL, that's up by about 10 odd percent. That's buzzing strong. Then apart from that, you're also looking at any other interesting names? Not many though. SMS Life Sciences, not much to really discuss in the broader market space right there. In the Nifty Next 50 list also, something that Vaishali had marked earlier, LTI Mindtree, that's up by about 1.3%, 1.4% higher. Info Edge is buzzing, Zomato. Then you have let's understand on the cement space and the real estate space that we haven't discussed with Vaishali today. Vaishali, real estate pack, again, will it be very, very stock selective, probably Macrotech that tops the list, or do you think there are others that could be probably on top of your radar now?
So currently, yes, actually, Lodha, that is Macrotech, of course, that is still chartically looking positive. So this is one stock which I feel among the realty sector, and I maintain a positive view as far as cement is concerned on Ramco Cement, because the other stocks that I'm looking at, DLF and all, are showing signs of weakness. For now, it's only Lodha to my understanding.
Luda's also come up with a business update which is being appreciated by the market. 956, the top gainer in FNO space is Angel One, 3.9% higher. What else is buzzing? There was a business update coming in from Poonawalla FinCorp. I just want to check that. I just saw a flash go past. Okay, it says, there are lots of business updates coming in. Let me just read the basic ones out for you. It says the total disbursements of Poonawalla in the third quarter FY25 were approximately 7,150 crores, up 13.3% Q on Q. AUM grew 41% year on year and 9% Q on Q. It says it maintains a strong liquidity position of 4,800 crore rupees. Now, with this background, let's visit the charts and find out what Poonawalla is saying to Vaishali. Vaishali, what is it whispering in your ears? We've seen a very sharp downfall in Poonawalla, but that's true for most NBFCs. What are the charts telling you?
So I would say, well, it's trying to bounce from its oversold, but and of course consolidating a bit. So I would say nothing so very convincing right now. 305 should act as a stop loss, and unless and until this stock moves above 330 and sustains above that, can we expect furthermore target going towards 340, 370? So I would take step by step move on this. I am not very convinced about this move still.
Okay. Okay, all right then. Vaishali, we will thank you then on that note for being with us in the morning edition of Market Today and helping us navigate through the morning moves right there. Now, 23,957 on the Nifty, viewers, 47 points lower in trade. We have lost a bit of the momentum from the high point, but let's see whether it improves going forward. We're down by about 0.2%. A large part of the sectors have also slipped, especially PSU banks. That's now almost 3% lower. So that's the weak link today. Metals are losing ground about 1.5%, oil and gas over 1% cuts, FMCG over 1% cut as well. So you have at least four indices out of all the sectors that are down by over a percent. Nifty Bank across the board is also seeing weakness, so 0.6% lower for the Nifty Bank alone. Small caps are down by half odd percent, so also the mid caps, which is down by about 0.6%. FMCG, Pharma, Realty, Autos, they've also cracked a bit. Consumer durables hold up about 0.7% higher. Nifty IT is about 0.5% higher, but it is the India VIX that's also causing a lot of trouble. 7% higher now at 14.5 odd levels. We'll continue to keep an eye out on how India VIX really moves in from here as well. Top movers on the Nifty are Titan, Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. You also have Infosys that's buzzing ahead of the earnings season that's going to be starting pretty soon. HCL Tech, ICICI Bank, Apollo Hospitals are the top movers. On the lower end, Tata Steel is cracking. You have Kotak Mahindra Bank, BPCL, Coal India, Nestle as the top five non-performers or the underperformers on the Nifty, which are the top drags. Jubilant Foodworks outperforms in the F&O space over 4% higher. FSN e-commerce, that's Nykaa, Angel One. These are the top pockets which are seeing some move on the Nifty on the positive side. Union Bank of India, Dabur, HPCL and Bank of Baroda. These are the ones that are dragging in the F&O pack. All right, 10 a.m. We'll leave you at that, viewers, on the markets right now. Absolutely flat and very, very highly volatile. 24,000 back with us. So we'll see whether things improve from here on. So stay tuned with us on Business Today Television. We'll continue to track the market momentum and get you top market voices to help you understand the key strategies in this current round. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, that answers all your stock related queries. Top market experts join in on this show to help you understand what should your strategy be in your own portfolio. So in case you have any doubts about any of the stocks in your existing portfolio, or for the new year you want to add on any stocks, well, do that after taking the advice from top market experts. The WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. You can send me all your questions right here. Don't forget to mention your name, your location and your contact details so that we can also give you an opportunity to speak directly to the top guests who come on our channel as well. Let me now introduce to you our guest on the show. We have Sneha Podar, Vice President, Research Analyst, BND at Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Warm welcome to you, Sneha. So good to have you with us, and here's wishing you a fantastic New Year 2025. Well, we started on a promising note as far as the markets are concerned. A buoyancy was seen in the last 2 days. Today, it's absolutely flattened out. But what's the expectation on how the markets are going from here?
Sakshi, and a happy new year to you and all the
Thank you.
viewers. So basically, we started 2025 on a very positive note, as you mentioned, and we are seeing some sort of short covering rally in the large cap. But having said that, going ahead, since there are lack of triggers in the market,